wasn't counting on running into a new Harbinger here, let alone such a high-ranking one. That guy was number 2. So scary. He called himself the Doctor. Remember, Tainari told us about him. Sataria did say that someone who once got expelled from the Academia came back recently, and that even the sages are wary of him. Yep, sounds like she must have been talking about the Doctor. Yeah, now that the Doctor's in the picture, we're no longer just dealing with the Academia. They're in cahoots with the Fatui. But what are the Fatui after this time? Another Gnosis? Yeah, things would be a lot easier with Nahita's help. Nahita said we'll meet again outside of the city. But we can't just keep waiting around, right? You mean... Oh, right! Wasn't he invited by the sages to work on some project when we were staying with him in the Vidia Forest? That has to be the same project. Even though he turned it down at the time, he might still know something. There's no time to lose. Let's go to Gandharvaville. This is where you've been, Tainari? That's...
Shh. Keep your voice down.
Tainari, everything's spinning. Am I going to die? Tell Mom that I should have listened to her. And tell Suna that I'm sorry for breaking her toy. I didn't tell her because I was scared that she wouldn't play with me anymore. Tainari, I heard that people turn into birds after they die. Is that true? I feel like I'm getting lighter.
What happened? Tainari, is he...
Okay, enough nonsense. You just have a small fever. Take your medication and rest. You'll be bouncing off the walls in no time.
Really? Then, can keep the thing about the toy a secret for now?
No can do. You're a big kid now. Once you've recovered, go and apologize. Keeping secrets to yourself won't solve anything.
Oh.
Hey, let me ask you something. I recall that you're usually pretty healthy. How did you get this sick all of a sudden?
I don't know either. Mom's been telling me not to play in the forest. I just wanted to look inside. It's different from before. I got lost and went around in a huge circle. After I got out, I started feeling dizzy.
Could it be?
So that's how this whole mess happened. Anyway, go rest. No running around until I say so, got it? Traveler, Paimon, let's step out for now.
Mr. Forest Watcher, how is my son?
I gave him some antipyretics. Let him rest here for a while. I told him that he would feel better after some medicine and rest, but I only said that to comfort him. His symptoms resemble a fever, but something else is causing them. They seem more akin to a disruption in his psyche. Antipyretics won't be of much use.
What do we do? Mr. Forest Watcher, you have to help him.
If memory serves, a plant called Vasanti grass can help soothe the mind. A small number grow in arid deserts. They usually look like shriveled weeds, but can be revitalized with a splash of water. They're expensive and unable to grow in the Avidya forest's climate, so I don't have any on hand. I'll ask the caravans. Go find Kale, have her prepare medicinal tools and a set of traveling gear for me.
All right. Thank you.
Contaminated region, huh? Is that why you two are also here?
Yep. Is it a new withering zone?
Doesn't seem like one. Whether you look at scale, internal conditions, or resultant effects, they're completely different. The only thing they have in common is that they aren't welcome. This nuisance made itself home in the Avidya forest, so I can't turn a blind eye.
We feel the same way.
All right. Let's contact the caravans first and purchase some Vasanti grass. We can also ask about the contaminated region. There's no time to waste. We have to move quickly. Let's go.
Elazar is a truly troublesome illness.
Excuse me. I'd like to purchase some Vasanti grass. Do you have any?
I'm sorry, Mr. Forest Watcher, but we've been closed for the past few days.
Closed? Now that's odd. It's my first time hearing you say something like that.
It's a long story. Some of our goods were stolen recently. They were mechanical parts that we got from the academia. Although they're old models, they still fetch a good price on the market. Our caravans had to pull together Mora to afford those parts. Now that they've been lost, we'll likely come up short this trip. All the merchants talked it over and we decided to raise the prices of our remaining inventory. Until this plan takes effect, none of us can privately sell anything.
I don't get it. If these goods are so important, then why not think of a way to get them back? Raising prices won't solve anything. At best, you're shoving the consequences of the robbery onto your customers.
Mr. Forest Watcher, it's not that we don't want to. It's just the thief disappeared into the deepest parts of the forest. We asked around, and apparently the forest has been very unusual as of late. Anyone who goes in experiences mental anomalies. We can't keep waiting out here for the thief to come out. All we could do is come up with another solution.
So the bandit hid in the contaminated region after stealing those mechanical parts. How many people were there in total? Were they not affected by the contaminated region?
That crook came from the contaminated region. As for how many, there weren't any people.
No people?
Even if I tell you, you might not believe me. Fine. The thief that stole our parts was a huge mechanical crab.
What the heck? The Avidia forest has creatures like that?
To be honest, I'd rather not think about it. It moved too skillfully to be new at this. It came out of nowhere. Before we could react, it swiped our goods and ran away. We were all shocked. By the time we came to our senses, the thief was already long gone.
I see. If we help you retrieve your stolen goods, then business will return to normal?
Oh, but of course! Not only that, but you'll become one of our caravan's VIPs on all future purchases of any...
Enough. Tell me something that's actually useful. Any leads on that mechanical crab?
Maybe one. After our goods were stolen, we specifically got someone to assess the situation. If you're interested, you can go and talk to them.
All right. We'll go and have a word.
After the goods were stolen, I made multiple inquiries with nearby caravans and residents. It turns out that many others have also been robbed by that crooked crab. However, the crab only seems to be interested in machinery. It doesn't even bat an eye at other valuables. A caravan carrying a large amount of mora had an uneventful trip, but another caravan had a child whose metal toy was taken. Whatever the case, that thing is a scourge. We'll eventually think of a way to get rid of it.
That mechanical crab is fast, strong, and a pain to deal with. 10 of us might not even be able to take that thing head on. Didn't academia ban research on mechanical life forms years ago? Where did that thing come from? Our salaries even got slashed because of it. Who would have thought that that robber wasn't a human, but a mechanical crab? This is rough.
I heard from the caravanners that there have been a lot of robberies lately, but we haven't been affected. We don't normally see the mechanical crab, and it doesn't disturb our daily lives. It only shows up when the caravans are here, and it runs back to the contaminated region after it's done making a mess.
You haven't tried capturing it?
We have, but it's too agile and fast. However, we did unexpectedly learn something the last time we tried to capture it. It apparently lives in the deepest part of the forest. So instead of immediately moving its spoils, it first hides them nearby. Once its stash grows large enough, it moves everything in one go. You'll have to move fast if you want those goods back.
How are things? Did you make any progress?
We learned of its behaviors, but much still remains unclear. Assuming normal operational status, mechanical constructs generally act according to their given commands. If I were its owner, I'd command it to steal more valuable things. Or the mora you made. That would be the most efficient method. But it only goes after mechanical components. This doesn't make any sense.
Right. It's really weird.
So, you all found a way to retrieve our goods?
Do you have any more mechanical parts with you?
Yes, I still have a small bag of samples. They weren't taken since I keep them on me at all times. Oh, are you planning to...
Under constant external conditions, organisms rarely initiate changes in their habits. Here's what we know so far. It has a mechanical composition, it lives in the contaminated region, and it comes out to steal mechanical components. If we have said components, we can lure it out, capture it, and then make observations for further conclusions. Well, chatting like this won't get us anywhere. We're only wasting time.
You're right. We don't have any other options right now. This bag of samples is all yours, Mr. Forest Watcher. If you can get our goods back, the caravans will reward you generously.
We don't need anything in return, but I'll be keeping this bag. I may have other uses for it later. We'll also need to borrow a sumpter beast. Our act has to be convincing if we want the crab to fall for it.
Oh, yeah, no problem at all. If it means getting our things back, you can even borrow me to do whatever you need.
I'll have to decline that offer. Anyway, we'll use the mechanical components and sumpter beast to pose as a transiting caravan and lure out the crab. Once it appears, capture it. I leave the timing to you.
Don't worry, we're professionals.
Looking at the trade routes and the contaminated region's current perimeter, the goods were likely stolen somewhere around here.
Then let's get to it. We'll definitely capture that criminal crab.
Okay, we'll start from here and have the sumpter beast with the components on board lead the way. This sumpter beast isn't familiar with us yet, so be calm and take your time with it.
The sumpter beast went ahead. Let's keep up with it. Why'd it stop?
Looks like it's loafing around. Or maybe it's hungry. The caravanners grew disheartened after their goods were stolen, so they probably didn't feed their animals as scheduled. Let's give it something to eat.
Ad Astra.
it right there. A blonde-haired traveler and a floating fairy. We've got you, all right. Take a look around. You've fallen right into our trap.
Are you mercenaries from the Corps of 30? Did you come here to arrest us?
Corps of 30? We're nothing like those government lapdogs who don't even get scraps for their work. We are an elite brigade that commands the highest commission rate in all of Sumeru. We're here on the orders of a client known only as the Outcast.
The outcast? An outcast from the academia? But why wouldn't the doctor just send the Fatui after us?
Still wasting time on idle chit-chat. We'll shut you up soon enough. Get them!
You're up, traveler!
Enshroud!
Be still.
Scatter!
Futile!
It isn't over yet! Here comes reinforcements! That was pretty rough. Is that what elite mercenaries are like? Yeah, looks like we'll have to keep our guards up. But this doctor guy seems like a pretty tough opponent. He knew exactly where to set up an ambush. Did he predict that we would try to find Kainari? Going up against smart people is tough. Anyway, let's keep going. Oh, it's the Traveler and Paimon. What are you two doing back here? Kale, it's nice to see you again. Are you doing all right? To be honest, I'm not doing too well. My Elazar has been progressing at a faster rate lately. I'm finding it harder to complete more intricate tasks. As a result, Master Tainari is taking me off the patrol schedule. He will only allow me to stay here and coordinate other people's tasks. Oh, Kale. Speaking of Tainari, did he go off on patrol? We're here to talk to him. Oh, Master Tainari? He just left the Avidia Forest a little while ago. He was headed to Party's DI. Huh? He left? But isn't Tainari always saying that he never wants to leave the Avidia Forest? He even turned down the Sage's invitation. I thought it was weird too. Master Tainari always prioritizes his work as a forest watcher above everything. He almost never leaves his post. He left in a hurry this time, though.
Alright, my microphone has been off, I guess. It should... Okay, thanks. Bye. Ah. Oops. My bad. He didn't give a reason?
No, I only found out that he left through a message he left behind. He also made sure to delegate all his tasks using a schedule. To leave in such a hurry? I'd guess he had something urgent to take care of. Master Tainari originally studied in the Immorta Darshan of the Academia, and Pardis Di is something like the Immorta's research base. Many rare shrubs and grasses have been planted there for research. I know that before he became a forest watcher, Master Tainari once spent a long time conducting research at Pardis Di. A research base, huh? Gotta wonder what kind of research Tainari just decided to work on all of a sudden. Oh, we don't have a lot of time, so let's go look for him at Pardis Di.
Please take care of yourself, Kule.
Don't worry, I'm fine. I'm used to living with Elazar by now. If you run into Master Tainari, please send him my regards. Got it. Will do. See you later, Kale.
Alright. Oh, it only works in the chasm? We gotta drag Kole into the chasm. Oh well. I tried it. For the record, an attempt was made. Where the heck is that other thing? Oh, okay, it's this.
Wait! Look who it is!
Naida.
Thank goodness you're okay. We were so worried about you.
You haven't been reprogrammed by the doctor, have you?
Hey, this was supposed to be a touching reunion, but you're ruining the moment. Actually, it's very smart of the traveler to be wary of me right now. After all, the doctor has shown that his technology can apparently even control human minds. Plus, it's not like you could have known what happened after we split up and I was facing the doctor by myself. Even a pool of stagnant water after a torrential storm can occasionally pass as a patch of sky. Paimon feels like only the real Nahida could come up with such an obscure analogy.
I agree.
Huh? But I wasn't trying to win your trust or anything. All I wanted was to clarify my point. Well, we understand that point now. Please, Nahida, tell us more about what happened. Are those poor people all right? When you left, I was still in the middle of restoring everyone's minds. Thankfully, when the doctor mentioned depositing information into the subconscious, he didn't mean engraving information into their minds. Instead, he did something closer to creating hallucinations. That was still within my power to fix. Luckily, I managed to finish my restorations and mind jump away from him just as he was about to capture me. Whew. What a relief. The doctor sure pulled out some hidden cards, but good thing we had Nahida with us. I wouldn't be relieved just yet. I gave away my true identity when I restored everyone's minds, which means we've lost another one of our trump cards. Also, the doctor is already an expert at modifying Akasha terminals. Maybe it's only a matter of time until he captures my consciousness inside the Akasha. Would that mean you'd no longer be able to jump between minds? Then how do we stop him? He's still at the academia, so it's possible he already started messing with the Akasha.
We need to hurry. Our position will only get worse with time.
Ugh, it feels like he's toying with us. What a nasty piece of work.
You tell him, Paimon.
Plus, the doctor's combat ability alone is apparently enough to make him worthy of being number 2 of the Fatui.
Who is number 1?
We shouldn't give up hope just yet. Let's try to find another way to attack this problem.
Actually, Nahida, how did you know we were trying to get to Party's DI? Have you been waiting for us?
Yes, I have. I can see the traveler's elemental energy, so I deduced your destination by looking at the direction you were moving in. You didn't come here for sightseeing, right? Did you find any leads?
If I didn't come here for sightseeing, then why is that background so gorgeous?
We're looking for a scholar we know. His name is Tainari, and the sages once tried to reach out to him. Why don't you come inside with us and see what we can find?
Okay, let's just hope we won't get him into trouble.
Yoink.
Traveler? It is you!
Ah, the voice! It's Hypatia!
Long time no see.
What a pleasant surprise! It's so nice to see the two of you again.
Who's this?
She's a scholar we met in the Avidia Forest. When we last saw each other, she was still training in the... what's it called? Satyavada life?
Oh, I see.
That's right, we're old friends. You've come at just the right time. Ever since I've come here, hardly anyone has even talked to me.
She's not wearing her terminal.
Hypatia, you're way too excited about this. Actually, for you to leave the Avidia Forest means... you're not in training anymore? Wait, no. Did you already finish your training and reach Pariporna life?
What do you think? My consciousness has already managed to make contact with the divine.
You did it! Congratulations!
I'm really happy for you.
It's so exhilarating to share this sublime joy with others at long last. When my consciousness made contact with the gods. What a supreme and unparalleled experience that was.
That sounds incredible!
We're in a hurry, so let's chat about this next time.
Oh, all right. Actually, please wait. I haven't forgotten my promise to you. Remember? I promised to help you understand what you saw from Irminsul once I gained deeper insights. My current self has not only gained true insight, but I can even help you establish a direct connection to the consciousness of the divine.
You can do that?
Do you believe her, Nahida?
I've never heard of anything like that, but if you want to give it a try, I'll do my best to protect your consciousness during the process.
Hold on. I brought some spirit borneal with me. This is still a crucial part of the ceremony.
We gotta be high.
Incense again?
All right now. Hold my hand. I'll help you establish a pathway to connect your consciousness.
Okay.
Hope this isn't real embarrassing in a minute.
It took 3 betrayals for me to finally understand. The
That's-
world is just an elaborate tapestry of lies.
I knew it, Scaramouche.
My fury will never be quelled. The first to betray me was a god. My creator. My mother. valuing strength above all. She saw no worth in me and I was discarded. The second was a human. My family. My friend.
Oh no.
Consumed by fear, he saw me as an abomination. The third was one exactly like me. A hope for the future. A fledgling barely out of the nest. Powerless before his mortality, he broke his promise to me. Humans, they can't be trusted. And the gods fill me with pure loathing. So I said good riddance. I denounced the world and laughed in its face. My chest will never again be defiled by worldly filth. I will scrub away every last trace of human emotion. Then it will be empty, a blank slate, and ready to receive a supreme gnosis, brimming with pure divinity.
So many of these problems can be solved with
fear. The pain will be brief. Your era is coming to an end.
therapy, bro. Therapy, okay?
What was that?
This is neither Greater Lord consciousness nor King Deshret's consciousness. Blah, blah. Consciousness.
Did we actually just see the Baladier's memories? Everything matches what we know about him. But how is he connected to the divine consciousness that Hypatia was talking about?
You saw it, right? You felt it, right? Such a majestic god! Such a noble will! Such sublime emotion!
Yeah, that sounds like she's about to be a boss.
Alas, shame. If only that which beats within my chest wasn't a filthy mortal heart. Oh, great and merciful God, please grant me forgiveness and salvation.
Do you understand now? I'm afraid this is no Puripurna life, but rather...
Wake up, Hypatia.
Why are you so mean to me? Why is everyone hiding from me? I found divine wisdom. Shouldn't I receive praise and honor? Haven't I uncovered that light in the darkness?
Hypatia?
That's how I always thought everything should be. Wait, have I already lost my mind?
Alright, just gonna walk away.
Wait, something isn't right.
No shit. This must be the mantra? Oh man. Yeesh. Alright. Scaramouche time, I get it. Damn.
the travelers back?
It's me.
Nahida was controlling your body for a while. It seemed like she jumped over to you as an emergency measure right before the Catherine puppet was destroyed. After that, Tainari heard the commotion and came over. He helped us defeat the mercenaries and then he ran with us all the way here.
This time she didn't just transfer her body and mind into my body. Our minds swapped places.
What? You swapped places? You mean your consciousness also went into Nahida's body? Wait, then where is Nahida's consciousness? Where is she now?
I never imagined that an individual's consciousness could be transferred around like this. Had I not seen it with my own eyes, I would have never believed it. I don't think this can be achieved with current human technology. Also, while we were running, the consciousness in your body told me to pass on a message. She said, "The doctor has found a way to trap my consciousness, so I can't journey with you anymore. But even in a moonless night, a shower of starlight can still drown out illusions and lies."
Oh no! Nahida's trapped in the sanctuary of Surasthana for good this time. Was that message all she left for us? It's pretty vague.
Hello? I guess so. It's in a code that only we know.
Oh, that makes sense. Since the doctor captured her, she won't be able to say anything without him knowing. She's being extra careful. Even in a moonless night, a shower of starlight can still drown out illusions and lies. Huh. Paimon knows the moon illusions and lies are from that alchemical divination at the Sub-Zero's festival. Didn't Nahida use a starlight analogy before? It had something to do with Sataria. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Huh. Do you think Nahida was telling us to go find help in the desert? But she isn't with us anymore. Think we'll be okay?
Paimon, you said Sanctuary of Surasthana. Does this mean that this Nahida you're talking about, the consciousness who is occupying the traveler's body, is the Dendro Archon?
Your guess is correct, but the situation's a bit complicated, so it's really hard for us to explain right now.
That's all right. A scholar's curiosity doesn't need to be appeased right away. As for the complicated nature of the situation, safe to say I have witnessed that for myself. I've spent some time with you, and it looks like the Dendro Archon's also on your side, so I trust you.
Thank you, Tainari. Oh, actually, we came here to ask you a question. What do you know about the project that the sages have been working on?
Okay, but he just sounded so dubious when he says that he trusts us.
Ah, that. While I was indeed invited to join that project, the sages were always secretive about its scope and goals, so I eventually declined. All I know is that that project has something to do with the restoration of Irminsul.
I think I know what the project is about.
Huh? Did you see something when you were in Nahida's body?
The Academia is turning Balladeer into a god.
What?
Do you have any evidence?
I saw an ancient god under construction.
So that's what happened. That explains why Hypatia's symptoms were different from those of the other scholars who went mad. It's because she made contact with the consciousness of a new god who is still in the process of being born.
Tainari, did you leave the Avidia Forest because of Hypatia?
I did. I noticed Hypatia's mental anomalies, but since her symptoms were rather atypical, I secretly took her to Pardis Dii and began searching for a way to return her to her normal self. If I didn't take action, Hypatia would have already been taken by the Matra to the desert, doomed to a life of exile at Aru village. Now that you mention it, I knew the Academia has never thought particularly highly of Lesser Lord Kusanali, but I still didn't expect them to do something as arrogant as creating a new god. Looks like I made the right decision by not accepting their invitation.
The Fatui is also behind some of this.
The Doctor and the Balladeer. We have 2 Fatui Harbingers in Sumeru. Sounds like we're in for a bad time. From your description, I don't think they've completed their project. There may still be room for us to intervene. But then, what is the connection between creating a new god and restoring Irminsul?
Yeah, it feels like we're still nowhere close to figuring out the sage's goals.
Let's head to the desert for now.
Right. We've pretty much gone over everything we need to know, so we should head out. How about you, Tainari? What are you going to do?
I'll stay here for now. I still want to try a few more things to help Hypatia. If you're planning to go into the desert, start by heading for Caravan Rabat. That'll be your fastest route. Come find me here if there's anything else I can do to help. May the spirit of wisdom go with you.
Thanks, Tainari. Hopefully Hypatia will feel better soon. We're off then.
All right. Caravan time. What dendro powder are you talking about?
Propagate! Scatter!
Oh. Such rudeness.
Can't see?
Scatter!
One with the forest.
Spring forth!
All right. Oh. I forgot the little dude. Who I can't talk to. That's fine.
Drown! Nowhere to run!
Tcha. Boom.
Still nothing, huh? Oh. Wonder if they'll only talk to me after I play the song. Let's try that. I don't remember the tune, so that must not be it. You gonna join me on stream, Korochi? Okay. I'm gonna keep doing the story quest.
Keep up.
I'll not fall behind this time.
We finally made it to Caravan Rebot. It's pretty lively here. So, just past this wall is the desert, huh? Oh, wow. Paimon remembers hearing people call this the Wall of Samiel. It's made to block sandstorms from the outside. Oh, if it's this tall, it's gotta be the divine work of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata, right?
It is indeed quite impressive.
Enough gawking. Come on, follow me.
Huh?
Alhaitham? Where did he come from?
Over here.
Oh, Hatham went that way! Let's hurry up and follow him. Wonder what he's up to.
He runs faster than us.
What the? Where did he go? How did we lose him? They were just here a second ago.
More Aramite mercenaries? Who are they working for this time? Anyway, Traveler, it seems like we were being followed again.
You were too careless. You should have noticed those hopeless amateurs trailing you a long time ago.
Thanks, Alhaitham.
There's no need to thank me. I've never cared to keep track of personal favors. All I did was correct a mistake I happened to come across. It's a habit I developed at the academia.
You really gave Paimon a scare, Alhaitham. We never thought we'd run into you here. Last time we met at Port Ormos, didn't you say you were going back to the academia? Wait, don't tell Paimon that you're here to take us back on their orders.
Oh, so you've already landed yourselves on the academia's hit list. I can't say that I didn't expect it. However, had I wished to turn you over to the academia, don't you think you'd already be the Eremites' honored guests by now?
Oh, right. You do have a point.
Did you participate in the Sage's big project?
I have no interest in running errands for that project. As a scholar, I've always belonged to the camp that promotes researcher autonomy. And these days, you're more fascinating than anything the Sages can offer.
Yes. Alright, he said the words. So, you were actually looking for me?
Not quite. To tell you the truth, I'm still investigating the Divine Knowledge Capsule. Unfortunately, I've run into some difficulties. Everyone says the capsule originated in the desert and was eventually moved to Port Ormos. If I am to get to the bottom of this, I must understand how the capsule first came to be. Which brings me back to you and why you're so interesting. The leader of Ainul Ahmar used the Divine Knowledge Capsule right in front of you, and upon seeing him, your expression became perplexed, and you were lost in thought for quite some time. To have that kind of reaction, I think you must have realized something. Are you interested at all in sharing what you've been hiding from me?
It must be because I was so shocked to hear those words again. World, forget me.
Alhaitham, you really have a ridiculous eye for detail. What kind of person even notices or remembers stuff like that?
The situation is a little complicated.
So that's your answer. Well, I do work for the Academia after all. So considering that, it is indeed wise to keep your cards close to your chest. But that does prove you do have some undisclosed information about the Divine Knowledge Capsule. Am I right? No matter.
Fifth Amendment,
Rather than
man.
simply learning the answers from you, I'd still prefer to investigate on my own. Speaking of, you two are also headed to the desert?
That's right. We have the same plan as you. But we don't really have any concrete goals at the moment.
Then I'd suggest starting with Aru Village. It's the largest settlement in the desert, so it'll probably have more resources and intel than anywhere else. Well, would you like to head there together?
Sounds good.
It's always better to travel with someone you know. Let's go!
Oh man, I am so excited about traveling with Alhaitham. Plus, he just like anybody who reads like Otome stories, there's this stereotype that the dumbass male leads will always be like, interesting. So like it's kind of an inside joke there. We're all like, oh my gosh, they made Alhaitham an Otome love interest. Nice. I don't have to walk.
Before us lies Aru Village, the safe haven of the desert folk.
Whoa. This landscape is really something else. What a cool place. Let's go check it out. Wow.
Oh shoot. I knew we were gonna meet this way the moment I learned you were a cop.
Sino. Unless my memory fails me, we have barely spoken 2 words to each other before now at the Academia. Would you care to enlighten me as to when and how I invited the General Mahamatra's wrath?
Oh, Hatham. Do not think you can escape my judgment just because you managed to escape my attack.
Judgment? So that's how you'd characterize your actions here, is it? Or would elimination perhaps be a more accurate description?
So sarcastic. I love it.
Had I used my full strength, not even this traveler would have been able to stop me. Though styled like an assassination, I sought only to ensure that my target would be unable to flee or resist. Standard practice for the Matra, as well you know.
Seemed to me more like your own personal touch.
Who is that, Alhaitham? Did you call him General Mahamatra?
Yes. General Mahamatra Sino, head of all the Matra at the Academia. He's a formidable hunter, and the ultimate nightmare for any who have committed academic crimes.
I knew it. He's even worse than a regular cop. He's part of the special police that locks people up for thought crimes.
You seem to have placed a lot of trust in Alhaitham, to the point of blocking an attack for him. If I were you, I'd never choose to side with him. I wouldn't believe a single word that comes out of his mouth.
But he's hot.
I have been pursuing this scribe for a long time. I urge you, stand back and do not seek to defend him any longer. Otherwise, there will be consequences.
Why do I feel like I know Sino's voice from that Steam game that's like you turn all the animals, these hot men all turn into animals, and then you can free them by dating them. What's that called? Yeah. It was under dating sims, yes. Blush Blush. Okay, that's the one it was. Yeah, I don't know. He sounds kind of similar to one of the characters. I don't trust him as much as you seem to think, but that doesn't mean I'm going to stand by and do nothing.
Has Alhaitham done something wrong? Paimon doesn't think he's as bad as you made him out to be.
I won't waste my breath explaining things. Hatham, I saw it during our fight. Take it out. The divine knowledge capsule you're hiding on your person. Unless you want me to retrieve it for myself.
Ah, they finally found out about that.
Very perceptive of you. Nothing escapes Amatra's senses.
Wait, the divine knowledge capsule? Didn't it fall into the Matra's hands in Port Ormos?
I saw it at the time, so you did lie to us.
No wonder you speak with such confidence, Sino. But I must admit, I'm very curious. What does this capsule mean to you? And why, as General Mahamatra of the Academia, are you all alone in the desert? As far as I'm aware, the other Matra have been speculating about your disappearance. Have you been given a mission that's, let's say, morally dubious? If I was the real target of your mission, what was stopping you from simply using your authority and resources to judge me within the walls of the Academia?
Is it a mission from the sages?
I should have known you'd be difficult to deal with.
You two? Ugh. What should we do, Traveler? Paimon feels like we can't trust either of them.
Well, look at you two, acting all tough and self-righteous over there.
Wait, Dia? Great! Finally, someone that we can trust! You gotta help us out here, otherwise these two are gonna start fighting again!
Yeah, sure looks that way. Two giants from the Academia duking it out once and for all. Not something you get to see every day, that's for sure.
So we should record it and sell tickets.
Listen, I know you academic types love to fill up your big brains with self-righteous morality and lord your empty rules and virtues over each other.
Oh, wow.
But how dare you bring your petty disputes into the safe haven of Aru Village? It seems like someone's gonna have to beat some sense into your thick skulls until you finally learn to respect these grounds.
They're definitely still looking for an opportunity to attack.
Hey, did either of you hear a word I just said?
Whoa, what's going on? The wind's so strong. Is this a sandstorm? Paimon's gonna get blown away.
Another sandstorm? What's up with these recently?
Hey! All of you, over here, quickly! We have to take cover.
Someone's calling for us. Oh, this wind is too strong. Let's get over there.
That sounded like Candace. Come on, you two. Jeez, are all of you Academia folks such hard work? Move it!
All right, stop yelling.
Oh. He's too good to eat with us, huh?
Well, this is pretty awkward. Hey, wanna play sardines with three people who wanna tear each other limb from limb? Sure, why not? Sounds fun. The air is so thick and heavy. Paimon can hardly keep floating anymore.
My sincere apologies, everyone. This is the home of our village chief. I will have to ask you to make do with this small room until the sandstorm dies down.
And then immediately back at each other's throats.
Please, let me introduce myself. I am Candace, protector of Aru Village.
Our savior has come at last.
Ah, she's gorgeous.
Nice to meet you, Candace. The name
You have my gratitude.
There's no need to thank me. It's only right to help each other when the weather gets rough.
Wow, she's so gentle and caring, like a nice older sister. Unlike those guys over there.
All right. Now that we're all better acquainted, we should return to the topic at hand. As a guardian charged with the responsibility to protect my fellow villagers from harm, I was observing your conflict from afar, even before the sandstorm started. And now that you have set foot within our village itself, it is all the more my responsibility to make absolutely sure that you pose no threat whatsoever to us. So please, have an honest and sincere conversation with one another and put your hostile feelings to rest. If anyone dares to start anything again while they are under this roof, I will not hesitate to send them out for some quality time with the creatures of the sandstorm.
Yeah, better listen to her. Damn.
Oh, on second thought, Paimon may have misjudged Candace's character.
And that goes for you too, Miss Dia. Do I make myself clear?
All right, we got it, Candace.
That's what I like to hear. So, which of you will begin?
I was supposed to be a mediator, but I might have gotten a little too involved just now. Anyway, one of those two should probably start talking.
Wait, that was you trying to be a mediator?
I have nothing to hide, so there's no shame in explaining myself. While Al-Haytham wasn't wrong about the other Matra not knowing my whereabouts, it's not because I've been assigned a morally dubious mission. Rather, I've chosen to exile myself.
Huh? Exile yourself?
A little while ago, I discovered that there was data missing in the Academia's project planning and development files. What little they did report clearly did not match the project's actual progress. As General Mahamatra, I had the responsibility and authority to request an audit. However, to my surprise, the person responsible for the erroneous data was none other than Grand Sage Azar himself. I tried to investigate the issue myself before submitting a formal audit request, but I soon found that all leads and potential pieces of incriminating evidence were carefully concealed from me. I began to realize that they were cautious of me from the very beginning. Unsurprisingly, the Grand Sage rejected my audit request as soon as the submission reached his desk. He even said to me, "The power of the General Mahamatra is granted by the sages. You have no right to judge us."
So they really are up to no good.
I realized then that to the Grand Sage, the Matra are nothing more than tools for the sages to assert and maintain their control over knowledge. The vows that we took, the principles that we strive to uphold, they are meaningless to the academia of today.
Alright, so he's an ex-cop. So then, you decided to exile yourself?
I believed it would be wise to flee the academia before the sages had a chance to take action against me. This way, they can no longer see nor predict my actions. I will never give up on this investigation. There's no need for someone else to give me power or authority. Once I find the truth, I will administer judgment by my own name.
Sino seems to have the same goal as us. We're all investigating the sages. Plus, now that he's no longer the General Mahamatra, he somehow feels a lot less scary.
Still too early to trust him completely.
Well, Sino, if that's your story, then why did you see Al-Haytham as a target?
When I was investigating the matter in the academia, I overheard a conversation between Al-Haytham and a sage. The sages asked you to investigate a blonde-haired traveler. Do you dispute this, Al-Haytham?
What?
Like many parts of the project, this assignment was undocumented. Now throw in your suspicious behavior with the Divine Knowledge Capsule, And I think we deserve an explanation.
Sages were watching me from the very beginning.
Yes. I was indeed tasked with investigating the Traveler.
I'll hate them!
After all, the promised reward was so great that hardly any scholar could have refused. The sage told me, once you've completed this assignment, I can give you a glimpse of divine knowledge.
A most enticing offer.
Unfortunately, those academics don't know me at all. Their words contain one key piece of information, namely that divine knowledge indeed exists. That gave me all I needed to know. From my perspective, the sages are far from trustworthy. Think about it. Isn't it a little strange they're so willing to share divine knowledge with anyone, even as a reward? So, I began my own investigation following the lead of the divine knowledge capsule. In the end, I realized my wisdom in committing to this rather than collaborating with the sages. Had I been less guarded, I probably would have ended up like that Ain al-Ahmar mercenary, incapable of remaining sane for long enough to hold a conversation.
You mean that the sages originally planned to dispose of you, using one of those capsules that drive people insane?
What about your encounter with me?
I'd already given up on the assignment by then. I only told the Academia I was waiting in Port Ormos for you to appear so they wouldn't suspect anything. So it came as quite a surprise when I encountered my erstwhile target while investigating the Divine Knowledge Capsule.
Criminals do love to talk about coincidences.
Even though I ran into the Traveler by chance, I had no intention of providing assistance to the Academia. Also, you should remember, you were the ones who decided to follow me and strike up a conversation after I left that tavern.
Now that you mention it, things did go like that.
That's true. Al-Haytham helped us out at Caravan Rebot as well. Maybe he's telling the truth.
I'm willing to apologize, if that's worth anything to you. I took the Divine Knowledge Capsule behind your back because I judged its existence to be a significant risk. I felt that it would be best for no one to interact with it before it had been properly studied. After all, curiosity often proves to be the most dangerous thing in this land.
He sounds so smug even when he's over-explaining himself.
You should be well aware, Scribe Al-Haytham, that curiosity can also lead you to danger and suspicion. Answer me this. Did the sages share any information about their project with you?
Have I not made myself clear? You and I are both distrusted by the Academia. Do you really think they would tell me anything?
Fine. Although you haven't completely proven your innocence, I won't regard you as an enemy, for now.
As you wish.
Good. I'm glad to see you two clearing up your misunderstandings. And now you, Dia. I believe it's your turn.
Oh, sorry. Whatever the boys were talking about must have been so boring that I spaced out. My situation is pretty straightforward. My employer, Dunyarzad of the Homayani family, is friends with the Traveler and is currently recovering from her illness at home. I had nothing going on, so I decided to return to Aru Village for a visit. I was actually looking forward to a pretty exciting time getting back together with everyone here. But then I saw these two random guys in the middle of a pointless argument. It ticked me off, and things went downhill from there.
Is that all? Well, I will admit that definitely sounds like your style. In that case, welcome back, Dia.
That's more like it. I missed you all so much, Candace.
Whoa! What was that sound?
No need to worry. Now that you're no longer at each other's throats, please make yourselves at home. I'll take a quick trip outside to clear out some of those creatures in the sandstorm.
Creatures? In the sandstorm? Are you sure you don't want some backup?
Fighting in a sandstorm is not for the faint-hearted. Anyone without extensive training in these conditions is at a disadvantage. You needn't worry.
Yeah, just leave him to Candace. Don't worry, she's as tough as they come.
The wind's died down. That means the sandstorm's over, right? Candace still isn't back yet, though. Is she alright? Maybe we should go out and check on her.
When you put it that way, even I'm starting to feel a little worried. All right, let's go. We've been here long enough, and the boys are as chatty as the floor.
All right. Dun 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 dun. Ooh, quest. Rose, oh rose, grant me my wish. Blooming from a stone, the golden rose sang to me. She sang. That was the kid, right? Too bad the boy ran off halfway through. Paimon would have loved to hear the whole thing and say hi to him. You must be new here. First time in Aru village? Yes. No wonder you've never heard that folk song. Well then, are you scholars looking to study abroad in Sumeru? I know that there are many foreign scholars in the academia. We do know a lot of scholars, but we aren't quite like them ourselves. Technically, we're adventurers. The glorious world-touting duo, Paimon and Noain. World-trotting. What's so funny? We're super famous adventurers, believe it or not. No, I wasn't mocking you, friends from far away. Just the opposite. It is a delight to hear uplifting stories like people traveling across the world. When you're as detached from the world as I am, such enthusiastic remarks can really catch you off guard. I'm sorry if I offended you. My name is Saba. I offer you my apologies, as well as my welcome to the village. Ah, yes. Were you talking about the Rose folk song that Ziad was singing? Correct. We can talk more about it if you're interested. I hope it'll liven up your journey. Are you going to sing for us, Saba? Paimon's dying to hear the rest of it. Sorry, I'm not good at singing, but we can discuss what the song is about. Sure. So that kid sang about the rose granting wishes. Yes, in a tiny village like ours, we don't have a big Athenaeum like they do at the academia. All our songs are passed down orally. It's my belief that the wish-granting flower of the song represents the collective imagination of our ancestors. In a harsh environment like the desert, water is an extremely vital resource, so they prized water-storing plants. So the more adverse the terrain, the more stories there are about plants. It's a reflection of our ancestors' yearning for a better life. At the same time, plants are also part of the symbiotic relationship between our ancestors and the flora and fauna of the desert. However, Aru is built on sand, and the soil here is actually not suitable for the cultivation of Sumeru rose. Sumeru roses. The Sumeru roses I planted could never grow, so if you ask me, the golden rose in the song must have been the product of people's imagination. Hold on. Paimon can't keep up with this anymore. Is this what you usually talk with people about, Miss Saba? I'm sorry. I thought you were new, since you were new here, you'd prefer such topics over farming or the weather. Also, I'd like to have those conversations, Paimon. It's just you. You being like, no. Paimon Paimon got lost somewhere between symbiotic relationship and the collective imagination. But don't worry, Paimon understood that last sentence. You said that the land here isn't suitable for Sumeru roses, right? We've also only seen them in places with moist soil. Well, this place is mostly sand after all. Speaking of roses, I was thinking that since you two are adventurers, perhaps I can hire you to... Now we're talking. We're battle-hardened adventurers. We can do any job, no problem. So, what can we help you with? I know it's ridiculous to want roses that don't belong here to bloom, but regardless, I really want to see them. I'm embarrassed to even say it, but that's my wish. Based on what I know about roses, they'll grow if fertilized with highly concentrated dendro, even if you grow them in sand. But it's near impossible to get such fertilizer out here, so I'm wondering if you may be able to get your hand on some? Dendro. Yes, dendro promotes plant growth and works especially well on poor crops. But I'm just a normal person without a dendro vision, and I lack the resources to obtain efficient fertilizer. If it's dendro you want, then it's pretty easy. We got this.
Propagate!
Can you wield dendro? Are you someone with a vision? I haven't met anyone like that in a long time. What a nostalgic feeling. It should be fine now. Right, Miss Saba? That's right. They should sprout soon if the power of That's right. They should sprout soon if powered by dendro. Let's just wait for a while. They're sprouting! Paimon knew you could do just about anything, traveler. The results were immediate, as I thought. Thank you. Too bad there are no flowers yet. Oh, that's normal. You can't rush such things. Phew! Excuse me. You can't rush such things. Plants have to go through stages of growth. That you were able to make them sprout is already quite amazing. Give the roses some more time to take in the nourishment. It'll be better for them as well. I'm very grateful to you as it is. I wouldn't wish to bother you further. Just drop by and see them in your spare time. That would be enough. Oh, so I can come back here multiple times? Same session, but for different things. Alright. I walked into that one, but actually, I should be doing this. One sec. Alright. Candace. And fuck wolves.
Candace, you're still fighting? You've been out here dealing with these creatures the entire time?
Yes. They just keep coming in waves. I've lost count of how many I've defeated. Before I realized it, even the sandstorm had stopped.
Her stamina is something else.
Here comes another wave!
Leave this round to us. I got interrupted earlier, but now I have something to take my anger out on.
It's been quite a while since I've seen the Flame Mane in action. I'll leave these to you then.
I'll be sure to put on a good show. Let's go!
There's a lot of people who have slit pupils in this. Oops. I dodged poorly.
One with the forest.
I don't appreciate that. That lip.
Here comes another wave. When are they ever gonna let up?
Oh, shoot. I was late.
Oh, what a drag. Can't see. Keep up.
Yikes. I let the traveler die one time. Alright.
Propagate.
Really gotta dodge when they have corrosion.
Stopped appearing. Was that the last of them?
What we fought just now was probably the aftermath of the sandstorm. So we should be safe for the time being.
Well fought, everyone. No injuries, I hope.
Huh? Who are you?
Ah, my apologies. I haven't had a chance to greet you yet. I had my hands full taking care of the village's elderly and children. I am the chief of Aru village. Everyone usually calls me Uncle Anpu.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Sir, I am also originally from the desert, but I have not been back for some time now. May I ask if such sandstorms are common?
I can't say they've always been common, but recently the storms have become increasingly severe and frequent. Besides sandstorms, we also occasionally get earthquakes. According to an investigator who stayed in the village a while ago, these unusual natural phenomena are related to the withering of Irminsul.
Another effect of Irminsul's weathering. So, Irminsul's weathering causes withering zones in the forest, and sandstorms and earthquakes here in the desert?
Everything in the natural world is inextricably connected to Irminsul. These regional symptoms can indeed be a reflection of Irminsul's present state.
Everyone in Aru village needs to take good care of themselves. Speaking of which, why haven't I seen a single village keeper since I got here?
Village keeper? Who are they? Village guards like Candace?
Does your curiosity know no bounds? Village Keeper is how Aru village refers to mad scholars exiled here by the academia.
Alright, dude. You just wanted to know.
Most of them are scholars who lost their sanity after a period of training in the Avidia forest.
Oh no.
The academia believes that their crazed mutterings may have a negative effect on the psyches of other scholars. So, they're forcibly exiled to the desert. Though if you ask me, it's all a boatload of nonsense.
Inari also brought this up before.
Alas, that's exactly what we've been trying to investigate. One by one, the village keepers have been mysteriously disappearing without a trace. But no one in the village has ever seen them leave. If you're planning to stay around the village for the next few days, I'd appreciate it if you could keep an eye out for them.
I've had encounters with those people in the past. I'll see what I can do to help.
The Matra are the ones responsible for their exile. Now that you're no longer with them, are you trying to alleviate your guilt and atone for your past sins? I'm fascinated by how you think.
Mock me if you will, but if you are guilty, I will eliminate you, regardless of my position or identity.
Oh, you're the former General Mahamatra. You must be an expert in these kinds of investigations. Thank you for your help.
I'll help too.
Is it because you're reminded of Hypatia? Oh, these poor scholars. First they lose their sanity, now this! We need to help get them back home, safe and sound. But, is it really a good idea to tag along with Sino? You seem like you really don't trust him.
It'll be fine. They and the others are here too.
I'll be grateful for the assistance. No doubt you will do a better job than some of my former subordinates. Let's start by finding a spot to share what we know so far. Although I've sent myself into exile, I'm still doing essentially the same things as before.
Oh hey, those nuts are up in those trees. They're like coconuts.
Do you still have any questions for me before we start our investigation?
Why do they refer to the mad scholars as village keepers?
One of my former subordinates told me that this title has its origins in a strange incident. The Academia has long exiled mad scholars to Aru village. A mysterious phenomenon exists here. When mad scholars first arrive, they are as incoherent and deranged as before. But after spending some time here, they invariably begin to calm down. Initially, the people of Aru village greatly resented having to take in the mad scholars. But a strange incident one night changed that. Aru village was struck by the strongest earthquake in living memory. Seeing buildings on the verge of collapse all around him, the then chief of the village was preparing to take everyone to safety. Suddenly, he noticed a mad scholar crouching in a corner, caressing the ground with his hands. A soft, green light radiated from him, like a divine glow against the backdrop of night. Despite the powerful tremors that ripped through the ground that night, all the houses remained upright, almost as if they had grown roots reaching deep into the ground. In the end, not a single building collapsed, and no one was hurt. After that, the people of Aru village treated the mad scholars with greater kindness, and began to refer to them as the village keepers.
The soft green light? A mad scholar protecting Aru village? What do you make of it, traveler?
It must have been Nahida's power.
Paimon thinks so too. Actually, Sino, do you know if any of the mad scholars continued to wear their Akasha terminals at Aru village?
In theory, they would continue wearing them so the Academia could still monitor their activities. With that said, the main Akasha system would no longer have any interaction with them.
Oh, no wonder! Everything makes sense then! Add in the fact that they calmed down, it was probably Nahida who calmed them.
If you are able to draw a conclusion from this one story alone, then it appears you possess much more information than I do.
Oh no, he's gonna interrogate us.
So, what do you make of the story?
Lesser Lord Kusanali was actually the one who protected this village.
Really? Lesser Lord Kusanali.
What? You don't believe us? Lesser Lord Kusanali was definitely using the Akasha to give her power to the mad scholars!
No, it's not so much that I don't believe you. I'm just struck by your reasoning. Lesser Lord Kusanali, the current Dendro Archon, is she really active in Sumeru? The Academia has always placed far greater importance on the late Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. They've more or less ignored Lesser Lord Kusanali, and I've never had any reason to doubt their views. In addition, I've never heard any stories about Lesser Lord Kusanali and her deeds. To me, She might as well have been a god that never existed.
Well, she probably was doing all this without letting anybody know who she was, because it would compromise her freedom.
No way! Nahida definitely exists! She's a... How should Paimon put it? She's a good Archon who's kind and wise. Even if she says weird stuff sometimes.
We saved Sumeru City together in the not-so-distant past.
I've spent many years interrogating criminals, so I can easily tell when someone is lying.
Good! Then you should know that we're telling the truth.
That look in your eyes. I've never seen that from a liar. You two really must have met Lesser Lord Kusanali. How can this be? To think, our Archon has been amongst us this entire time.
Alright, now it's our turn to put our skills to good use for this investigation.
You betcha.
But easier said than done, especially since we don't have any leads. Maybe we can start by knocking on some doors.
Excuse me, are you here to help me find my grandpa?
Huh? Who are you?
By the sounds of it, a resident of this village.
My name is Isak. You'll help me find my grandpa, right?
Is your grandpa a mad scholar?
Hey, don't say that. Grandpa is just Grandpa. Why do you have to call him that? It's not like he's a bad person or anything.
The person you're referring to is not a local, yet you are. Why do you call him Grandpa?
Grandpa is just Grandpa. He's my family. I heard everything you said to the village chief. Please, you gotta take me with you. I want to find my grandpa. I swear I'll help. I won't be a nuisance.
Ah, so you're the one who was eavesdropping on us around the village chief's house. I was planning to go out and take care of whoever it was, but I had a vague feeling that they didn't harbor any ill intent.
Gosh, he just randomly drops in that he would frickin' annihilate people on a regular basis.
Whoa. Oh, Haven wasn't kidding about Matra having sharp senses. Sino, he's just a kid. All he wants is to find his grandpa. Let's find a way to help him.
Sorry, I was only listening in because I wanted to know where Grandpa went. Honest. If you don't believe me, you can ask Miss Candace.
Please help him, Sino.
All right. But first, let's confirm the facts with Candace.
Man, can I just say that the Traveler's charisma is something else? Because the Traveler can get people to just do whatever the fuck he tells them to do with, like, within minutes or hours of meeting each other. You said would you defeat monsters too far away, they might not give drop.
All the Matra are like?
Ah, you're back already.
We just wanted to confirm something with you. Do you know a boy by the name of Isak?
I had a feeling he'd go looking for you.
Huh? You knew this would happen?
Yes. Although he tried his best to stay hidden, I still noticed him eavesdropping outside the window. He really wants to get his grandfather back. Isak's parents were both Aramite mercenaries who rarely returned to the village after finding employment in the city. He was raised by his grandfather. Unfortunately, it was only a few years before his grandpa passed away. Isak was still very young at the time, so various families in the village took turns caring for him so he could survive. Later, an elderly mad scholar arrived at the village. Isak thought the scholar bore a striking resemblance to his grandfather, and thus often spied on the man. However, the scholar was unkempt in appearance and incoherent in speech. Although Isak referred to the man as his grandpa, he was afraid and didn't dare to approach him. One summer night, the oft mumbling and bumbling grandpa suddenly calmed down and seemed to become more lucid. So Grandpa walked up to Isak and patted him on the head. He even took Isak to the entrance of the village, where he patiently taught the boy the names of the stars and accompanied Isak until he fell asleep. The next morning, Isak woke up and wanted to go find his grandpa again, only to realize his grandpa no longer recognized him. However, even so, Grandpa retained his calm expression. It's said that those who saw the scholar claimed he no longer appeared to be crazy, but appeared to be living in his own world, almost as if he were sleepwalking.
He was lobotomized?
Isak was thrilled that his grandpa was able to find peace and would follow him all the time, asking him things like, "Grandpa, want me to take you somewhere fun?" Or, "Grandpa, could you tell me stories about the stars again?"
All this somehow just makes Paimon feel really sad. It seems like they both deserve so much better.
Perhaps. Nearly everyone who lives in the desert has some form of hardship or regret. But even so, we must still continue on with our lives. It's also my reason for fighting. I must continue to protect this land.
Maybe the people have always had a considerate god watching over them.
Huh? What did you say, Sino?
No, nothing. As long as Isak keeps his word and doesn't get in our way, we can take him along.
Perhaps you are more compassionate than I gave you credit for. Please accept my thanks on Isak's behalf, Sino.
Archon, did you know that if you defeat monsters too far away from their spawning point, they might not give you drops? Yeah, I just saw it on the info screen.
Oh, it's you guys! We've cleared everything up. Let's go find your grandpa. Really? Wow! Thank you so much!
Your grandpa will be found safe and sound.
Yeah!
Thank you, sweetie.
Alright. Let's ask the local residents some questions first.
Excuse me, did you happen to see where the missing scholars went?
You mean the village keepers? Oh, let me think. When I was eating dinner the other day, I saw one of them by the side of the road, muttering away and eating mushrooms and tree roots. They shouldn't go around eating that kind of stuff.
Okay. Did you notice anything else?
Anything else? No, I think that's all I have to tell you. Sorry.
The scholars that have gone missing. Have you seen them?
Those eyes. Those fierce eyes. You look like a real fighter.
Wow, just terrifies people.
Don't change the subject.
Right. You were asking about the mad scholars. I think it's been a few days since I last saw them. I usually go to bed pretty early, so I'm not too familiar with what goes on at night. But honestly, I feel quite sympathetic towards them. Even though they act a little strange, they've helped me in the past. If it weren't for them,
my house would have collapsed long ago.
Do you also think Grandpa and the others are good people?
Grandpa? Oh, hello there. It's little Isak. You mean that nice man who looks like your grandpa's long-lost twin, right? He was actually the one who protected my house. I saw it with my own eyes. He happened to be staying near my house that day and was doing something with his hands on the ground. It still feels pretty surreal now that I think back on it. Did someone teach them how to do that? Well, whatever the case, I'll always be thankful to him and whoever taught him to look out for others. I'm pretty sure that if I ever went mad, I wouldn't be able to do anything like that.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Gave up everybody a good reputation, at least. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, it's lower. I'm trying to go up. Thank you. Up, I say. Feel like I need elevator music. The lift bard. Why aren't you people paying for a lift bard? Hmm. I guess this is a top. Ah, nice sound disc. I made it eventually.
Sir, have you seen my grandpa recently? You know, the one who likes to sit and space out near the village entrance.
Oh, well, if it isn't Isak. Oh, your grandpa, huh? It's been a while. The last time I saw him, he was spacing out by the road as usual. I went and asked him if he'd like any of the food I had prepared, despite my wife's protests. Like many people, she's really quite terrified of them. And speaking of my wife, she's still always complaining about how I don't make enough mora. It might explain why she's always mad at me.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for taking care of him.
It was nothing. You're looking for him, right? Did he go for a walk and get lost?
Yeah.
Oh, that's no good. Well, once you found him, come by my place again and I'll cook a little something for the both of you. I've known you since you were very young, so as far as I'm concerned, you're family. Please feel free to come by anytime.
Wow, what a nice guy. Okay, thank you, sir.
Huh?
What's wrong, Sino? Did something happen?
Don't say anything for now. Isak, stay here.
I bet he caught that man in a lie.
Let's head over there. Stay quiet as you move.
Ooh, it's the... This gonna be a... Crouching and hiding.
Listen, see if you can make out what they're saying.
Have you heard? The mighty Scarlet King, the sovereign of our faith, will soon return to this world.
Yes, of course I have. The Scarlet King is the one and only true ruler of this land. I've never believed in any other gods. Still, you say he's coming back, but it sure doesn't feel like life's about to change around here anytime soon. What's your proof?
Haven't you noticed? The village has been getting more deranged scholars than ever. Delavar was saying that many people also went insane just before the fall of the Scarlet King's civilization in ancient times. We don't quite know why, but it seems like there's some sort of connection between insanity and the Scarlet King. Isn't it a sign of the Scarlet King's power that all the mad scholars have disappeared? If you ask me, they must have been chosen as the final sacrifice for the Scarlet King's resurrection.
Huh. Now that you say it, that does make some sense. Does this mean our lives are finally going to take a turn for the better?
Exactly. Those city folks will get what's coming to them.
Now, repeat everything you've just said from the very beginning.
Uh-oh.
Huh? Who are you? Where did you come from?
My patience is running thin. You heard what I asked.
He does not take well to blasphemy.
Bro, this guy's something else. Just look at his eyes. One wrong move, and he's gonna flay us alive.
Let's not get on his bad side, okay? I am no match for this guy.
Oh, okay, good sir. What is it you would like to know?
Tell me about the Scarlet King's resurrection.
Well, I only know a few things from hearsay. I went for a drink the other day and heard others talking about a rumor that the madmen will disappear and that the Scarlet King will return to this land. I'm not making this up. I swear.
Hey, go on. Keep talking.
It's true. It's all true, sir. We desert folk have had more than enough of those people at the academia. They keep sending us all their mad scholars and won't let us have a good life. Would you want to live like this if you were in our place? The radicals were even more thrilled than me when they heard the news. We're all praying for the Scarlet King's speedy return. Delavar also said that once the Scarlet King returns to our side, it's only a matter of time before we conquer the land on the other side of the wall. They're all willing to serve under the Scarlet King and fight for a share of the glory.
Is that so?
Seems like he still wants to know more. Keep talking.
Got it. At first, I told myself it was just the drink talking, but then all the mad scholars vanished without a trace, just as the rumors said. Please don't beat me up just for mentioning these rumors. If I'm guilty, then everyone else around here is also guilty. I'm just saying what the others said.
The people here really like the Scarlet King, but dislike the Dendro Archon.
The academia is probably the true target of their hatred.
Where is this radical person you talked about?
I haven't run into him over the past few days, so he probably hasn't been around the village. What about you, man? Have you seen him at all?
No, not at all. We wouldn't dare lie to you. He's really not here right now.
Sounds like you're not too close with the radicals.
No, of course not. All we know are their names.
I have many ways to stop you from talking, and many others to stop you from sending warning messages. So you'd best just stay home and hope I don't hear of you trying to contact anybody. Don't do anything until I've gotten to the bottom of this. Try something foolish, and even Candace won't be able to protect you.
Man, this guy just goes to threatening the black bag people the drop of a hat.
Yes, yes, got it. We'll do just as you say.
That scared Paimon half to death. Sino is pretty terrifying.
Good thing I'm not one of your enemies.
He didn't try to reassure us at all. It's like he's used to hearing that. Oh, Paimon bets lots of people have told him that before.
All the more reason for you to not get on his bad side.
I heard that.
Sorry.
It's part of being a Matra. The rumor we heard just now seems like a strong lead. But we need to check a few more places.
Maybe we could check the scholars' homes. Might find something there.
Very well.
I am here.
Where's your grandpa's house?
Well, I can take you there. Just follow me. I hope I can be as cool as Candace one day.
Join the Eremites and embrace a wonderful new life.
Grandpa, he likes to be alone. Sometimes he stares at the sky in a daze, and other times he just pokes at the ground with his fingers. Every now and then, he yells out at the top of his lungs, so a lot of people are really scared of him. But he's a good person, really. I know he is. I swear, he's just like my real grandpa. Well, this is where Grandpa usually stays. There sure isn't much here.
That smell. Sino, did you catch a whiff of the incense?
No.
Incense? Please don't say it's the same one as before.
It's definitely that one.
But are you okay? Are you getting dizzy or need to lie down?
There's a scent that you can sense, but I can't.
A certain traveler here once passed out from that smell. Thankfully, Tainari saved the day. And then he gave us a long lecture to explain all about how it worked.
So, you know Tainari?
Huh? You know him too? Are you two friends?
Yes. Now that I concentrate, I can also make out the scent of incense.
Wait, surely Tainari didn't lecture you too?
No, no need.
I can't handle this scent very well.
Did you first encounter this scent at Tainari's house?
No, it was in the forest where the scholar was meditating.
In the forest. From a scholar.
Let's keep looking for more clues. I was destined to not find those things before him.
What are you looking for, Sino?
Here it is. Take a look right here.
Paimon doesn't see anything.
Although the traces have been completely buried in the sand, there are footprints here, from the size and shape. They belong to an adult male. This pattern is a common one from this area. Local shoes. This was probably someone from the village. The scent is quite faint, but still extant. The footprints head in the direction of the door.
I think he felt threatened when we smelled something he didn't, and now he's going above and beyond to prove himself. He's competing against our nose. You mean someone else has been here?
But who would come looking for Grandpa? He doesn't have any friends.
Oh, blow, little Isaac.
We'd have to ask whoever lured him away with the incense.
Lured him away. So that's what happened.
Huh? So you can lure someone away with just a scent?
You get lured away by food all the time.
Hey, what's wrong with liking good food? Everyone's got something they love in life.
Exactly. Most scholars are fond of incense, since the smell supposedly helps them clear their minds and discover new knowledge. Even deep within the clutches of madness, they still yearn for their knowledge-seeking days, and will follow the scent whenever it presents itself.
No, Grandpa. So someone's taking advantage of their weakness? Huh. Still, why would anyone want to abduct all the scholars?
Is it to resurrect King Desret?
Are the rumors really true?
That's the only lead we have so far.
Could the disappearance of all the mad scholars have something to do with the radicals?
It's highly likely.
Please, you have to save my Grandpa. Grandpa's never done anything wrong. Please help him. Sounds like we'd better help get him back. Don't you worry, Isak. We won't let whoever took him get away with it.
Let's head to Aru Village and inform Candace and the others about what we learned here. After that, we'll set off to find the scholars.
Man, yeah, his voice is just so... I know it from somewhere. All right. Just gonna teleport.
Right. The darker fabric definitely looks a lot better. That'd be my choice, too.
We're back, Candace. We've got a lot to tell you.
Ah, welcome back.
Sounds like everyone's friends already.
Oh, Dia's here too.
You bet. So, everything goes smoothly?
Reasonably.
Alhaitham didn't go with you?
We haven't seen him at all.
Huh. I saw him around the village entrance earlier and figured he was investigating with you. I guess he must have gone off on his own.
Yeah, he's kind of the lone wolf type.
Did you find out anything useful? I see. So someone used a kind of incense to lead the exiled scholars away from the village.
The resurrection of the Scarlet King? First I've heard of it. Far as I know, the kind of incense you just mentioned is only popular beyond the wall. Scholars are fond of it, but as you can see, there aren't many scholars still studying around these parts. No seller would be able to make a profit here.
I feel like that dude is just listening in behind us.
Not to mention making incense is a labor-intensive process. You won't see anybody in the desert with the patience to make or sell something that requires that kind of effort. It seems someone from beyond the wall must have been supporting this.
Makes sense.
So what should we do then?
Yeah, there he is. He's right there.
And search for leads there?
If it was any other day, that would be your next logical step. But today, you've got me on your team, so you get an extra tip. Didn't you say that the villager got his news from the tavern? Well, I also like to drink at the tavern, so I know a thing or two about these radicals he mentioned.
If Paimon remembers correctly, The leader of the radicals is some guy called Delavar.
Ah, yeah. Delavar, the scar-riddled bandit, Engur, the wide-eyed butcher, and Jabari, the duck-tailed bearded crook. The whole lot of them are known around these parts.
I feel like I've heard these names somewhere before.
These guys have one thing in common, and that's being broke. The rougher life gets, the more they want to believe in the Scarlet King. Way they see it, the Scarlet King's resurrection is their only chance at overthrowing the Academia. Throwing all of Sumeru into chaos is the only way to change the way of life here in the desert. Anyway, that's my guess why they've chosen to become radicals.
Tia, you're amazing! You really know this place inside and out.
But Dea, I knew the traveler couldn't have not noticed that. Huh? Dea's winking at me. Maybe I should stay quiet for now.
No merc can afford to slack off on gathering intelligence. Every mora I've spent in the tavern has been a valuable investment.
Let's head out.
Now hold on, you're staying right here, Sino.
Why?
Aru Village is not a big place. Outsiders stand out here like a sore thumb. I'd bet word about you has already gotten out. The desert is unforgiving, so the way of life here is also a lot tougher than on the outside of the wall. You survive on making connections out here. Compared to you, mercs like me are just third-rate amateurs. I've got no actual fighting skills to speak of, but that also makes it a whole lot easier for me to gain the locals' trust. I need to go around and ask some questions, but it'll be difficult if you're with me.
Fine.
Good. Then we've got a plan. The Traveler and Paimon will go to Caravan Rebot with me, and we'll try our best to figure out where the Mad Scholars have been taken. Sino, you'll have to stay in the village and continue investigating on your own.
All right, sounds like a plan. Well, here we are again.
Sounds like you're starting to get familiar with the area.
Paimon's amazed every time we see the wall of Samiel. How can a wall this tall even exist? It's almost unreal.
I know what you mean. I had the same question every time I walked this way when I was a kid. Also, why is this high wall here? And can a wall really block sandstorms? It was only after I grew up that I realized the wall of Samiel isn't just there to keep out the sandstorms. It serves a more important purpose, keeping out people like us. Sumeru is run by wise and mighty sages. To them, us desert dwellers are nothing but tools that can be used and discarded at their whim. We're cheap labor, like livestock, but easier to control. Nothing more. Even if a child from the desert got the chance to obtain an Akasha terminal, almost all their requests for knowledge would be denied. The Academia believes we're underserving. Geniuses like Sataria are 1 in a million. The other children never get a single chance to try and rewrite their fate, even though the Academia knows very well that we're humans, just as they are.
That's terrible.
I would tear down this wall with my own hands if I could.
I understand how she feels.
Hey, Thea. You're not thinking about doing anything scary, are you?
No, not at all. This place just gets me thinking, that's all. Besides, we're here to procure information, aren't we?
Yep, we gotta catch those.
Shh. Caravan Rebot is crawling with people, so be careful what you say. We don't want anyone to find out what we're here for. Our mission started the moment we arrived here. Let's go check out the tavern. Maybe we'll find someone I know.
Except we already know that somebody knows, because they were spying on us.
None of them are here today.
You mean you don't see anyone you know?
Dia, is that you? What a coincidence. You here for a drink too?
Zaki. Finally, a friendly face.
Oh, and who do you have with you here? Guests from another land?
Hello, nice to meet you.
Hello. I'm Zaki. Dia's, how would you put it? Drinking buddy?
We've had drinks together a few times. You could say we go back a ways. Anyway, as far as my friends here, they aren't too shabby, are they? You rarely see any Outlanders so friendly and respectful nowadays.
Absolutely. Much better than those people on the other side of the wall. So, Dia, are you looking for someone?
Yeah. Have you seen Edgar, Delavar, or Jabari recently?
Of course I have. Matter of fact, we were all here drinking together just a few days ago.
I've got a spice trading deal from another nation. I thought maybe Delavar and his friends might be interested. Know where I could find him?
Ah, how thoughtful of you. Then I assume you also know that Delavar's been having a hard time making ends meet these days. So, you came here to help him out?
Hey, keep it down. Let's just say I prefer to keep this deal a secret. Y'all at Caravan Rebot are like family. If there's more to be made, why not do it together? Besides, Delavar and his friends have muscle. They'd be a good fit for escorting the goods.
Yes, how considerate of you. Delavar's my friend too, so of course I can take you to him. Come with me.
It's not that far. I can walk.
Are we there yet?
Yep, this is the place.
This place is practically deserted. What are they doing in a place like this?
Why don't you take a guess? Go on, a wild stab in the dark. You're like lambs to the slaughter.
Yes, you are. That's fine. It means all we have to do is beat them up.
What's this all about, Zaki?
Come on, Dia. You really think we didn't hear about what you said back in Aru village? The boys have kept a close eye on you from the moment you set foot there. Not only do I know that you're looking for Delavar, I also know that you've teamed up with people from the academia to look for the missing scholars.
So, you've been watching us from the very beginning?
Uh-oh. Paimon knew leaving Sino behind was a mistake.
We don't need him.
And you left the strongest one in the village, didn't ya? Who do you think you are? You really thought we'd fall for your little business deal nonsense?
So you and Delavar have been partners all along.
Dia, I guess it's only natural for a traveling mercenary like you to be out of the loop. Those of us who hang around the tavern have stronger bonds than you think. But you got one thing right. We're all looking forward to an uprising in Sumeru. There's nothing more we'd like to see than the desert folk overthrowing the academia.
If that's the case, then I'm sure Delavar wouldn't miss a second of it.
I'll be honest with you. If it weren't for what you said in the village, your little monologue about the Wall of Samiel would have convinced me that you're one of us.
Delavar. And Edgar, you're here too, huh?
Long time no see, Miss Mercenary. You should have known the traitors are what us followers of the Scarlet King despise the most.
Dia, I thought that you, a fellow desert dweller, would understand that the Scarlet King is greater than the Dendro Archon. Little did I know, you don't deserve to join us.
Yeah, gee, what a missed opportunity. Adopting radical views and kidnapping innocent scholars, all because of some baseless rumors. Anything else I'm missing out on?
See? There you have it. Mercenaries are just a bunch of faithless scum with only one thing on their minds. Mora. Pathetic. You're all like a pack of street rats.
You're not wrong. Mercenaries are driven by Mora, and my faith lies with whoever's paying me. As long as there's a profit to be made, anyone can become my friend.
Enough talking! Get him!
Just as I expected. Let's teach him a lesson, traveler.
Good thing that she has faith in us.
Propagate!
Group up.
Germinate! Scatter!
Yeah, I don't need to waste my ult with only 2 people left. Oops.
Scatter!
Immersion.
Propagate!
I'll take this battle super slow. I don't care.
Impossible! How could you?
So, what do you think about your meticulous network now, Zaki? How did you say it? It's only natural for a traveling mercenary like me to be out of the loop. I'm guessing your informant told you that I'm just an incompetent merc with no real fighting skills, correct? I mean, that is what I said after all. And of course you would believe everything he reported. The only thing you know about me is that I'm a mercenary, but you've never seen me in action. Even though you heard we went to handle monsters together, you believed that Candace was the only one doing all the real fighting. That so-called Flame Mane is just a fraud. She admitted it herself. She just uses her connections to gain the trust of others. That's what you thought, right?
You lied in the village because you figured that we'd have people watching you.
And you were stupid enough to fall for it. I figured as much the first time we drank together. You all thought you were so smart. Pathetic. Okay, that should be all of them.
Whoa! So you've been planning this since we were in Aru Village?
No task can be done without preparation. I just happened to notice a couple suspicious-looking people while you were out investigating.
Oh, but instead of catching them right away, you let them report back.
Those 2 who were snooping around were just a couple small fries. If we want to get the real catch, we have to be patient and give it some time.
Oh, those names you mentioned.
Oh, you mean the funny names she mentioned back in Uncle Ampu's house? The wide-eyed butcher, scar-riddled bandit, Paimon can't remember them all.
That's just a bunch of drunk talk. Edgar and Delavar like to talk themselves up when they're drinking. Edgar, the wide-eyed butcher, and Delavar, the scar-riddled bandit, are the nicknames they came up with for themselves. Alcohol has a way of making people share what they really think. So Edgar and Delavar are always rambling in the tavern about how the Scarlet King is a superior deity.
What about Zaki?
He's just a numbskull who fell right into our trap. Zaki was probably the best hidden of them all. My initial plan was to find Delavar first, and then try to track him down.
So who is the duck-tailed bearded crook?
That's what you wanted to ask when we were at Uncle Anpu's house, right? Jabari's one of the villagers you talked to. You know, the one who wanted to treat Isak and his grandpa to some food.
Wait, so he's a radical too?
No, he isn't. I just needed to tack on a random villager name to make the eavesdropper think that I was making some wild guesses based on my impressions.
Wow, what a genius idea! Well, that's an expert mercenary for ya.
Ah, you're too kind. It was straight from the usual playbook, if I'm honest.
So, that thing you were saying before, is it really true?
About what?
About how mercenaries only care about Mora, and that anyone's a friend as long as there's a profit.
Does that bother you?
I don't think you're that kind of person.
What makes you so sure?
Because even without an employer, you're still helping us out.
Dia, do you dislike the Dendro Archon like the other desert folk?
You two are pretty sharp. No, I don't have anything against the Dendro Archon. I've heard a lot of nice things about the Lesser Lord from Dunyarzad. I can understand her devotion and gratitude. Dunyarzad's just an ordinary person. There's no way a god would be so involved in the lives of everyday people unless they were truly compassionate. I've begun to realize that the sages are behind everything that's happened recently. The radicals' blind belief in the Scarlet King, making the Dendro Archon out to be an enemy. It's all the Academia's trickery. But I see through it all. And unlike them, I can never be hostile towards anyone who's never done anything wrong.
Dia.
Anyway, looks like we're done with business here. Traveler, lend me a hand. Let's tie him up and bring him to the village. This should be all of them. I'll let you take it from here.
All right. I'll be in touch. Until then, please stand by.
Candace, do you need any help?
Candace will be okay on her own. I trust her, so you can too. She's been guarding Aru village for quite some time now. If anyone is qualified to question the offenders, it's her.
While I'm questioning them, why don't you pass some time by exploring the area?
I'll meet you back here tomorrow morning, Traveler.
Sounds good.
As for these idiots, let's just hope they live to see another day. Candace is an expert at dealing with people like this. All we have to do is wait for her word.
There we go. It's just gonna have to be close enough. I'm gonna have to go song hunting one of these days.
Hey, Dia!
Right on time.
Did we learn anything from the criminals?
We'll know any moment now.
Paimon's been wondering. You seem to know Candace pretty well. Have you been friends for a long time?
We've known each other for some time now. She's a pretty interesting person. Even though she's an extremely strong warrior, she never misuses her powers against others.
you mean, like a lot of martial artists say, never take the fight outside the ring.
Yep, I guess you can put it that way. It takes strong convictions to be as dedicated as she is, and shoulder that kind of responsibility. Us mercs, on the other hand, we pretty much live from one day to the next.
Well, Paimon thinks you're great too.
Really? Thanks for that.
Oh, Sino's here, and he's pretty early too.
Yes, I was here yesterday to help out a little.
To help out? By doing what?
Sharing some interrogation techniques.
Oh, you mean you taught Candace some more persuasive methods?
Right.
Come on in, everyone.
Come on, let's go inside.
Had to give that one a nice long silence afterwards.
Candace, where? Whoa, you look furious.
Do I? Huh. What gave it away?
Oh, there's no mask that can hide true bloodlust. Cover up your eyes, and it'll still show itself at the corners of your mouth.
Perhaps I need to work on my composure. Still, it's perfectly understandable why I'm angry. I'm sure everyone present would agree.
Yes, ma'am. Please, don't beat us anymore. We're gonna die.
Well, looks like Sino taught her well.
She mastered it really quickly, too.
You fear death yourselves, yet you do not hesitate to place the lives of others at risk. The absurdity is mind-boggling. The ones you call mad scholars are known to us as the Village Keepers. They are vital members of our community, and some even count them as family. You come here to my village, and you treat my people as nothing more than stepping stones towards your goal. Tell me, what would you do to you in my position?
Mercy! Please have mercy!
You've made your bed.
We may both be desert dwellers, but there is one thing that I understand better than you. The resurrection of the Scarlet King will only result in war. And war serves no one. The people of Aru Village care little about which god is in power. Life may be tough and tiring, but we wish to preserve our way of life. A war would only cause us to lose all that we have. And that is not a responsibility that you can afford to shoulder.
We understand. We're sorry. I'll tell you everything I know. Please, just let us go.
I'm listening.
You might not believe this, but it wasn't us who came up with this idea. Someone was spreading rumors in the tavern. That's how we ended up hearing about the Scarlet King's resurrection. Some mystery man told us that mad scholars will make the perfect sacrifice to usher in the Scarlet King's resurrection. They give their lives, and we can get anything we wish for.
They're called Village Keepers. Slip up again, and you'll regret it.
Yes, sorry. It was all that mystery man's doing. He told us to spread word about the Scarlet King's resurrection and talked us into helping him. In return, he said he'll help facilitate the resurrection process.
They're just gonna, like, convince everyone that Scaramouche is the Scarlet King reborn. Where are the Village Keepers now?
I'm not sure.
That's one.
Huh? One what?
Strike. You get a total of 3. Then, you die by my hand.
Wait, I'm telling the truth. We don't know anything. It was all him.
2.
He got us to lure them out of their houses in the night with some kind of incense. We take them to a junction outside the village. Then the mystery guy takes them from there. You gotta believe me, please. I'm telling the truth, I swear. Just ask them if you don't believe me.
That was indeed the truth. Traveler, go on.
Do you have any ideas to who that mysterious person might be?
You have to believe me. If I knew that, I would have told you his name right away. I'm not risking another beating to keep his secrets. No way. That guy, he wears a cloak, and he's always careful to cover his face. He calls himself the Scarlet King's envoy.
I believe I may know what's going on.
Uncle Anpu? What do you mean?
Smooth.
Okay, speak.
If my suspicions are correct, this mystery man they speak of could be from the Academia. Some time ago, people from the Academia attempted to take the village keepers away. I refused, insisting that they are part of our community. It strikes me now that this secretive character shares the same goal they had.
Which means it's highly likely that the Academia was purposely spreading a false rumor to trick the radicals into delivering the village keepers right into their hands. They were the ones who brought them here to begin with. Now they're trying to take them back? We aren't gonna let that happen.
Not the Academia again.
In Sumeru City, Sataria also mentioned that King Deshret's resurrection is just the Academia's misinformation campaign.
Just as I thought. But what could they want with the village keepers?
People are nothing but tools in the eyes of the Academia. A change in their plans likely means they found another way to exploit the scholars. Regardless, our top priority now is locating the village keepers.
You're right. Isak is still waiting for news on his grandpa.
Time to go. Let's leave the village and try to track them down.
Yes. Pack up and get ready to leave.
You got it. Candace, I'll let you deal with the radicals. Leave everything outside the village to us.
All right.
Let's meet back here once everyone's ready.
What scheme is the Academia brewing now?
You look worried. Thinking about the village keepers?
Yes. I'd look for them myself if I could. As members of our village, each one of them is very important to me.
You have a strong sense of belonging here. I guess I'm the opposite. Mercs are stray dogs, wherever they go.
Dia, don't say that. You can be a part of this community too.
Thanks. I'll let you know when I feel like joining.
I think they were flirting.
I just hope everyone's all right.
They were definitely flirting. Yes.
Where did you come from?
Well, as you can see, I am merely sitting here and reviewing what we have deduced thus far.
You were gone for ages, and now you're suddenly sitting here musing to yourself? Where have you been anyway? Hey, what's with the silence?
You never think things through before asking questions. I'm giving you some time to make up for that.
Paimon's so mad. Paimon's gonna give you an ugly nickname.
Go ahead. I won't stop you.
Never mind. Paimon's got nothing.
They're too angry to come up with a nickname.
Nothing super obvious to pick with this guy. It makes it so hard.
Well, you've heard nothing to suggest I left this whole time. So clearly, I stayed in the village to investigate. Anyway, you plan to leave Aru village and keep searching for the truth of this matter, yes?
Yep. We're not gonna find out anything more by staying here, so we thought that we might as well take the search elsewhere. Enough with the silent treatment!
Maybe he's giving us time to think.
No. I'm just surprised that you decided to team up with him.
Alhaitham, you haven't helped us out at all ever since we arrived at Aru village. Bold of you to question our choices.
That's true.
While you were investigating, I had my own work to do, which I've now finished.
Really? Paimon doesn't believe you.
To be honest, we aren't really a team, so I have no obligation to inform you of my whereabouts. Not to mention that going separate ways allowed me to find some important information that you all had missed.
Huh? Right here in the village?
Correct.
What did you learn?
I'm going to take you to someone. But before that, you need to understand where she's coming from.
What does that mean?
How do you think the residents of Aru village feel about what we're doing? In other words, do you truly believe every single word the villagers tell us?
You mean some of them lied to us?
Hiding the truth does not necessarily equate to lying. Again, these people have their reasons. Remember what Gandis said? Most people in Aru village don't necessarily care which deity is in charge of Sumeru. That's because whether the Scarlet King or the Dendro Archon has power is of little significance to them. By contrast, the perils of their daily lives are ever-present concerns. They won't simply share everything they know with you without good reason. That's why you believed there was no further information to be found in this village.
So you're saying we can find new info from someone we've already spoken to?
Glad you're following along. Among those you have talked to, there's someone who was consciously keeping you out of the loop. In fact, she's been observing your every move since you arrived. The reason being, to someone who only wants to live their life in peace, any external factors introduce unpredictability into the equation.
Those eyes. Those fierce eyes. You look like a real fighter.
Don't change the subject.
It's quite obvious that she's intimidated by Sino's authority and strength.
Right. You were asking about the Mad Scholars.
She corrected herself mid-sentence because she's aware that there are Scarlet King fanatics in the village. If she sounds too friendly towards the village keepers, she could easily make herself the radicals' next target.
I think it's been a few days since I last saw them. I usually go to bed pretty early, so I'm not too familiar with what goes on at night.
Remember? She made a point of denying her involvement in anything that occurs at night.
But honestly, I feel quite sympathetic towards them. Even though they act a little strange, they've helped me in the past. If it weren't for them, my house would have collapsed long ago.
After speaking to the village chief, it became clear that the village keepers had protected Aru village at night. In other words, the young miss was very much awake during that time.
Then why would she lie?
By getting involved with an outsider, she risks drawing unwanted attention to herself. As for why she might be so wary about all this, maybe you should ask her.
I'll pass on this one. You said that she is afraid of me. If so, it's best if I stay out of this.
We're on it!
Oh, this isn't suspicious at all.
Miss Shawnee, as we discussed earlier, I've brought someone with me.
Mr. Alhaitham, I'm aware of where you stand, but how can I make sure that your friends think the same as you?
Huh? What do you mean? We need to clarify our stance or something?
Go ahead and talk to her. You'll get the answers you want. Go on. Earn her trust.
Is it really that simple?
May I call you Traveler?
Sure thing. Hi, Miss Shawnee.
Hi, Traveler. I want to ask you something. Do you think the resurrection of the Scarlet King can truly change Sumeru for the better?
No.
Why's that?
Because it'll only result in conflict.
That's very similar to what Miss Candace says. I know you two are friends.
That's why I'm willing to talk to you, even though I do have some reservations. Before, I wouldn't even have the courage to ask something like this. Traveler, do you believe our lives will get better?
I can't promise anything, but I'll do the best that I can.
Yeah, we came here from another nation, so it isn't wrong of you to be weary. And we aren't really residents of any one nation. But even so, we've met lots of people from different places, and we've always fought for what we believed in. We have friends in Sumeru, and we want to help them. That's why we decided to stay here for a while.
I want to trust you. My apologies for posing my questions like that. To be honest, I didn't expect you to come back for more information.
Oh, Hatham told us you have your reasons. It's okay. We understand.
The fact is that only one side of my family is desert folk. I don't really fit in anywhere in Sumeru. Some believe in the Dendro Archon, while others believe in the Scarlet King. I don't belong to either side, and neither side would want me.
Speaking of which, the radicals mentioned that they despise traitors. Do they just think that anyone who's different from them is a traitor?
Yeah. Some people can be so narrow-minded when it comes to bloodline and beliefs. It makes no difference what I say or how I behave. I'll always be suspected of having ulterior motives.
Oh.
Slowly, I just stopped talking to people. I pretended not to hear or see anything. All I want is to live my life in peace. And then it happened. The village keepers who had helped me disappeared with no explanation, and I didn't dare breathe a word about it to anyone. Until now.
You can tell them. I'm sure he'll keep your secret.
All right. I'll tell you what I told Al-Haytham. I actually have a sharper sense of hearing than most. Sometimes, I hear strange crying sounds in the night.
There are ghosts?
No.
Perhaps. I'm not sure. It's faint, but it's definitely the sound of crying. It comes from far away in the distance, and always carries very raw emotion. It used to be louder and more frequent, but ever since you arrived in the village, it doesn't seem to happen as often, and when it does, it's much quieter. I have to focus really hard to make it out.
I confirmed this with the guards on night duty. They also have someone with a good ear, and he's heard similar sounds at night. But, because we're in the middle of a desert, he would rather believe that they are the cries of beasts than ghosts.
Could you make out where the sounds were coming from?
There's really nothing around these parts, except for an old hospital not far from the village.
I think they used to use it for treating Elazar, but it's been abandoned for years.
We need to check out that hospital.
Yeah, let's go!
Nope, missed it. Oink. Seems like the right way. Thought it was Mage Javari for some reason. Listen, you. I'm doing important business things. Ah.
Propagate! Scatter!
I can sort of dodge.
Oh, is this the place? It's in terrible shape, and there's sand everywhere.
Empty and forgotten. An ideal place to hide people.
Mm-hmm.
That's close enough.
Sup? Oh wait, I forgot to investigate. Oh wait, I'm in combat.
Propagate! Be still.
Okay, so investigate this first. Oh, I did it already. Never mind.
Monsters, watch out!
Oh, hello, guys. You can't tell me how to die?
Spring forth! Enshroud!
There we go.
One with the forest!
Oh, that looks fun. Oops.
I may have overestimated myself.
Sorry, bro.
Scatter! Germinate! The depth's back. Propagate!
Oops.
One thing after another. Let's nip that in the butt. Keep up. Your sins weigh upon your soul. You stay condemned.
Ah. What did I... Just from eating them.
They were easier to deal with than Paimon had expected.
I am ashamed.
Super strong bandits? Or monsters taller than buildings dropping out of the sky? Or, you know,
Why were you expecting that?
He looks super serious. We gotta stay on our A game too.
This is the one.
Somebody other than us opening doors?
Let's go in and take a look.
Amazing.
Hey, we haven't found Squad. Are you sure we aren't wasting our time here?
Patience. Shawnee says she only hears the crying at night. We have time to burn. Until then.
And just walks off.
I'm taking a break.
Oh, okay.
And just like that, he sits down. Wait, he even brought a book to read?
It's me.
What are you reading? Let Paimon see.
Okay, sure.
The natural position, which is the positional propensity of an entity in natural motion in contrast with an object in forced motion? Huh? When free from external influences, every entity displays the tendency to follow its natural trajectory?
Okay, it's trying to teach you inertia.
So, you got that?
Oh, Paimon gives up. You keep reading your book. See ya.
That's fair, Paimon.
How is he so relaxed? Look at him, reading an impossible book in a creepy place like this.
You know, it wouldn't kill you to read a book once in a while either. Maybe it's time to spread your wings and become learned.
Hey, Paimon's your Tibet travel guide. Paimon knows plenty of useful stuff already. And anyway, it's not Paimon's fault that the books people read in Sumeru are so complicated.
Okay. Paimon's the best.
Paimon's getting so sleepy. Huh? What was that sound?
There it is. It's coming from that direction.
Is the sound coming from here? Huh. Paimon's not seeing anything.
Underground?
It's from below.
But there's no way we can get down there.
Something is off about the interior here. As I thought, there's a hidden structure.
Wow. It's like they tucked another hospital into this one. Oh, it looks like there are other mechanisms around here. Let's keep exploring.
Oh. There's so many of the sand things. I gotta mark this on the map for sure. Y'all are so rude.
Scatter!
Cascade.
Can't see?
They look kind of like a little dog.
Propagate!
Oh. I've already investigated this one. Maybe. Al-Haytham already did that one though. Already got this guy. There must be one hidden somewhere. No way to break in. Oh, it's that one up top. Okay. Huh.
Propagate!
Actually, you know what? Sometimes all you need is a bow. There we go. I don't have any ancient keys. Such travesty. In case of emergency, contact the physician on duty immediately. Monday, Ibrahim. Tuesday, blank. Wednesday, Amodi. And the remaining is blank. Patient Abbas, male, 23 years old, mole on the left side of his forehead and left-handed. While his condition remains very serious, survival will be difficult without professional medical care. The patient's survivability, once found, immediately inform. Don't give up, stay positive. All beings are under the watchful eye of the divine, so don't ever give up. The rest of the document has been rendered unreadable by weathering. Keep a balanced diet, rest regularly, and maintain a good mood. Monday, minty bean soup. Minty bean soup. Tachin, lunch. Curry shrimp. Hanpuri, dinner. Tuesday, salad biryani, lunch. Fish with cream sauce. Potato boat, dinner. Wednesday, shashka bean cake, lunch. The remaining sections are blank. I now know what they ate for dinner. Traveler, you don't have to climb on top of it to pick up the vase. So extra. There seems to be the darkened remains of a stem inside the vase. It was probably used to hold flowers. The words for Avon are written in the bottle. Are written at the bottom of the bottle. It seems to have been a gift to someone named Avon. Oh.
Look, there's someone over there.
We need to be careful.
Good idea. Let's approach him slowly without alarming him.
Wait. You're...
He can't speak, and his eyes are unfocused. But he looks too young to be anyone's grandfather. Also, why is he the only one here?
Didn't expect to see him here.
You know him?
He's Razak, a senior of mine at the academia.
He's a scholar too? Is he the kind that holes up in a forest and mumbles stuff about training?
No. And that's the problem. Razak was never involved in any of those things. He never trained in the forest, let alone reach Satyavada life.
How did he become like this?
Leaving that question aside for the moment, him being here alone means that we might be too late. Looks like they've already taken everyone away. For whatever reason, they left Razak here. Perhaps they simply didn't have time to come back for him. There are drag marks on the ground. They're clearer by the doorway. Someone was forcefully drawing a cart that was loaded with something heavy.
Loaded with people?
That is one possibility. It looks like they were in a hurry, as if they were afraid of being caught. In their haste, they failed to notice Razak hiding in a corner. The symptoms are identical. Looks like we found living proof.
Huh? Why do you say that?
Allow me to jog your memory. Recall your time at Port Ormos. Don't you think his symptoms look familiar?
Mm-hmm. The dude who you stole the knowledge cube from. The aramate guy who went mad.
Oh, now that you mention it, they're acting the same way.
Correct. The academia is behind all of this. It isn't difficult to deduce their rationale. First, the academia spread a false rumor of the Scarlet King's resurrection, emphasizing the role of the village keepers, the mad scholars who were exiled to Aru village. These rumors were all the persuasion that the radicals needed, and those based in Aru village leapt into action. Unbeknownst to them, of course, through rounding up the scholars, they were actually helping the academia. As well as being able to exploit the radicals for their own ends, this scheme has one further advantage to the academia. All the risks and responsibilities are offloaded onto the Scarlet King's followers. Life for the desert dwellers has been brutal ever since the Scarlet King's death all those years ago. Beneath the surface, feelings of desperation are widespread. Many would give everything they have for the prospect of something better. Anyone looking to exploit that for their own ends simply needs to make a few empty promises. Even if complications arise, people will see that those involved are all followers of the Scarlet King and look for no further explanation than differences of belief. A deep-seated mistrust of the desert and everyone in it by the rest of Sumeru will make sure of that. The notion of an academia plot wouldn't even cross their minds. It may seem like a simple strategy, but it is able to work wonders under Sumeru's current circumstances.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. It's in line with the village chief's theory, too. But there's still one very important question. Wasn't it the academia that brought the scholars to Aru Village in the first place? Why does it want them back now?
Throughout this process, one thing has changed. The scholars' identity. First, they were scholars. Then, they became lunatics. After that, they were exiles. And finally, they become missing persons.
I see.
An exile is still patently a living, breathing human being. But when someone becomes a missing person, that is brought into question. If you can't find someone, you have no way of knowing what exactly happened to them. That makes missing people an ideal resource.
Resource? For what exactly?
One possibility is that the information in their brains could be extracted into knowledge capsules.
Extracted? You mean canned knowledge comes from people's brains?
With the technology of the Sumeru Academia, it's entirely possible. Perhaps the process caused them great suffering, which is why they cry out in the dead of night when no one is watching them.
So, the human brain... Nope, nah, Paimon doesn't want to think about this.
How did you learn of this technology?
I'm the Academia scribe, after all. I'm familiar with their projects. Anyway, judging by Razak's state, the contents of a divine knowledge capsule were extracted from his mind. But something went wrong in the process. Or perhaps his curiosity got the better of him, and he used such a capsule for himself.
Paimon's a little confused. Can they just use anyone's brain?
No, that can't be right. Most of the mad scholars had made contact with the divine consciousness in the forest. That's what the Academia is after. It's also safe to assume that this knowledge has something to do with the Fatui, the doctor, and also the balladeer. They're using divine knowledge capsules to turn the balladeer into a god.
The look on your face tells me you've realized the answer.
The Academia needs people who've been exposed to the divine consciousness.
That's right. To some scholars, gaining knowledge about the gods is their entire life's pursuit. Extracting canned knowledge is just one of the extreme measures they turn to. However, I can't help but wonder, what do they seek to gain from divine knowledge? The Academia is going out of their way to look for forbidden knowledge, but what is their ultimate goal? I've spent quite some time trying to analyze the contents of the divine knowledge capsule, but to no avail. It seems like my way of thinking is too different from theirs.
You mean you're not even slightly interested in getting your hands on this forbidden stuff?
All scholars seek to expand the horizons of knowledge, but I'm not particularly interested in gods, so I don't share their degree of zealotry. Extracting information from people as if they were lifeless objects? If this is the direction of academic progress, then the Academia may as well shut its doors.
Sounds like you're really against all this.
Of course. The Academia's actions run contrary to their rules. Whether it be academics or knowledge, everything has its boundaries. If those lines are crossed, the rules and order that govern everything in the world will be destroyed. This matter needs to be corrected, just like fixing a typo in a book.
Wait, didn't you step in to help because you felt sympathy for those poor people?
Not to be callous, but no. My criteria are a little more restrictive than that. There is no shortage of suffering in Sumeru, and the same can be said for the rest of Teyvat as well. What do you plan to do about that? Save every last person?
Probably not. Paimon's not sure.
Your motives are more specific and personal.
You can say that. Simply put, I don't blindly place my faith into strength or heroism. I do what I want. The divine knowledge capsule is something I want to investigate in full. That doesn't mean I'm willing to take action for the sake of a few strangers.
Though he rejects the notion of greater moral responsibility, he justifies his actions because they are true to his personal motivations. Someone like him might actually make for a better ally.
Paimon's been wanting to say this for a while. There are a lot of bad guys in the academia, but you're not one of them. You're their weirdo.
You're probably right. Though I must say, I quite enjoy this feeling of being the odd one out. Uniqueness is also an asset, is it not?
Wow, that's a great way to think about it. Paimon's really impressed. If only Miss Shani had a similar mindset, her life would definitely be a lot easier.
I'm just a more likable person than her in general. There's nothing more to it than that.
Oh, wow. So what do we do with him?
He won't last long if we leave him here. Let's take him with us. We'll work out our next step after we return to Aru village.
Finally got myself that key. It's that same person. Okay. Where I came from. Paimon wonders what sort of treasure we'll find here. Paimon thought there would be some special treasure inside. Even the wooden barrels and crates we find on our adventure are better than this. At least those had cabbage or fowl inside. Eh? What's this? It looks like it fell out from over there. Let Paimon see. Maybe it'll lead us to treasure. Medical records. Patient name, Abbas. Gender, male. Occupation, farmer. Basic status at admission. Scabby skin at limb extremities. Multiple ulcers on the back, chest, and other bodily surfaces. Weakness of limbs and poor mobility observed. Mental faculties are coherent, though there are clear signs of fatigue, poor quality sleep, and poor appetite. Doctor in charge, Amodi. Week 1 of hospitalization. New scabs at limb extremities and enlarged ulcers. The left arm seems unusable and is in pain. Mental faculties are coherent, though there are clear signs of fatigue, poor sleep quality, and poor appetite. Doctor in charge, Amodi. Week 3 of hospitalization. The scabs are scale-like and have spread across the surface of the body. There is necrosis in multiple ulcers. The patient has fallen into a coma. Doctor in charge, Amodi. Week 9 of hospitalization. The necrosis of the ulcers has been effectively kept under control, and no new scabs have appeared on the surface of the body. Patient is in a comatose state. Doctor in charge, beep. Week 15 of hospitalization. The wound from the replacement treatment has not healed, even after a long time. No new scabs have appeared on the surface of the body. There is weakness in the limbs, and the patient cannot grasp items on their own. The patient is also experiencing fever and vomiting. Mental faculties are coherent, though fatigued, poor sleep, and unable to eat. Week 21 of hospitalization. We've started to manage to keep the scabs on the body's surface under control, and the new limb's function has been restored. The patient is experiencing chronic coughing and is prone to fainting. Mental faculties are coherent and in a good state. Sleep quality and appetite are decent. Doctor in charge. Beep. Elazar is so scary. What does the other document say? Treatment subject, Abbas. Gender, male. Occupation, farmer. Doctor in charge, redacted. Status. After 20 weeks of treatment, Specimen 4's new skin and left arm have recovered well. No changes in appetite or sleep. Mental state fluctuates beyond normal range. There have been multiple attempts to leave the care area. God's voice guides me is cited as a motivation, and the specimen is believed to have delusional tendencies. Additionally, the God's voice described in the confession is possibly related to the resonant quake phenomenon present in the internal topographic structure of the ruins. This should be investigated to rule out ungovernable input interference. Increase supervision. Treatment protocol. The second phase of the redacted trial is beginning to see results. The next phase, redacted. Objective specimen 4's organs, redacted. Following extensive examination, sample 3 is the best material for the third phase of the redacted trials. Before the implementation of redacted is required. Continuous vomiting and skin, redacted, is a normal occurrence. Redacted must be prepared beforehand for specimen 4 to maintain the circulation of redacted. After completion of the basic redacted operations, observe the subject for 1 week. If normal physiological activity is observed in the organs, the rate of deterioration of surface scabs is reduced, and the limb function is restored, the next phase of the redacted trial can commence. Physician's note. All specimens have one thing in common. Body elemental quantities were at abnormally high levels and were positively correlated with the severity of the disease. After the redacted experiment, body elemental quantities were reduced, and samples self-reported a reduction in symptoms. It is reasonable to hypothesize that there is a causal relationship between elemental quantities and Elazar. More controlled trials should be conducted to exclude redundant variables. Note: the enrichment process of elemental quantities in humans may be dynamically sustained. After the completion of early redacted experiments, within a short period of time, specimen 1's physical indicators trended to the norm. In later stages, due to redacted not being complete, the quantity of elements in the sample bodies rebounded, and symptoms increased, leading to specimen 1 redacted. Could not be recycled for materials. Information obtained. Preparations must be made for long-term trials. Redacted cannot be stopped before the specimen's symptoms have stabilized. Due to the nature of the trial, there must be a method to stabilize the sample's moods. Removal of redacted may be attempted. Following the new method, the material rejection rate has been significantly reduced. Specimens 2 and 3 developed mental instability due to associative connections to fundamental inner qualities of redacted. intended to attribute the disease to unverifiable divine punishment. Consequently, considering it blasphemy to accept redacted as treatment. It is a very interesting thought. Exploring neurostimulation and the resulting cognitive shifts could be a future research topic. Due to the above uncontrollable variables, they halted at stage 2A. Shame. However, the materials provided by these 2 samples were the best quality materials so far. It is reasonable to believe that the perfect performance of specimen 4 is related to the material quality provided by these 2 samples. Ultimately, once the 3-stage experiment was completed, specimen 4's symptoms disappeared completely, proving that it is possible to use redacted to control the elemental content of a person's body without relying on elemental power. There is potential for weaponization. Discussions of research on redacted have been increased in the future. Humans have unlimited potential. It may be foolish for me as a researcher to write this, but with enough input, I might be able to reach the level of a god, or so people might call it.
Paimon didn't understand. Oh. Paimon didn't understand a thing.
Ignorance must be bliss here, to be honest.
You understood it? Paimon only got the bit when he goes on about God's voice guides me. Does it mean that there'll be unique voices guiding us here?
It could be an underground water flow or creature activity.
Yeah, who knows? There might be some underground ruins. Let's listen for any sounds and take a closer look when we hear something.
While I'm at it, I should do my dailies before the days happen. I gotta get my rewards.
Propagate! Futile!
Oh.
Scatter! One with the forest. Yeah. Surrender! Cascade!
Slow on the uptake today. Due to the decreasing deposits of ore and gems in the mine, we have moved to the chasm. We will still be mining ourselves and selling our goods directly, both wholesale and retail, and we would appreciate your continued patronage. I don't want to read the notice. I want to steal. Although technically, I guess maybe these rocks are set out for customers to take as like a gift or continued service. Alright, there we go. There's one. Should be good. They match. Wow, Ayato's color scheme is actually perfect.
Excuse me. Oh.
Oops.
Be still.
Yes. Ah, okay.
Enshroud.
Cascade. I may have overestimated myself. Be still.
Hmm.
Nowhere to run. Propagate.
So much work.
Cascade.
Alright, here was I. So that's 2 of them, I think. Yep. Okay.
Be still.
Anywho. I need this. Come back. Oh, nice. I got it.
Scatter. Can't see.
Mine.
Kamisato Arc. Suiyu.
So pretty. Alright. I should have one more. I want to do DPS and only DPS. Oh, is this Chang the Ninth? What have you got for me today? Both are good. I think I usually give him the other. Ah, okay. Wheelie Plains it is. Man, that rapeseed is growing everywhere. Gotta gank the mage.
Cascade.
Haha.
Scatter!
That's far enough.
Usually Ayato just hits like behind and misses the shield entirely. Well, good for you, buddy. Alright. Daily rewards.
Ad Astra. Thank you for completing.
Thank you. Let's see. Actually, I might call it here for the night. I'll pick up this quest again next time. Thanks for joining me.